Hiya, I'm Jodie and today I'm covering the horror film genre. So there are many different horror films such as Paranormal Activity, Scream, Psycho, Seven, The Conjuring, and there are loads of different codes and conventions that directors must follow when they're producing a horror film. So for example, there will always be a hero and they'll always have to take out a task or fulfill something, and either they'll triumph and end and beat their predator, or it will end horribly, and actors will usually be children or teenagers, and this gives a huge sense of vulnerability to the character, and it will create a lot of anxiety for the audience because they're going to worry a lot more if it's a child than like a grown man. So usually it will consist of black and darkened alleyways or the woods, loads of isolated places, because the characters will seem a lot smaller and there'll be a lot. I think people feel more threatened when it's dark and isolated because you never know what's going to be around the corner. So low angle shots will be used when they're filming the nasty characters because it will make them seem more inferior over the victims or the more vulnerable characters. And usually the camera work will seem really unnatural. They might put like some effects on it to make it seem darker, or I don't know, put a tint on it. Lots of point of view shots might be used as well, so like slapdash camera work, so holding the camera and while running and chasing the characters while they're filming, it will make it seem a lot more confusing to the viewers, so it will put them under a lot of unease and it will reinforce their fear as well. So slow creepy music is used a lot in horror films to unsettle people. In films such as Footsteps, it can make people feel really anxious and confuse them as to what's going on and what's behind them, so it will create a lot of suspense. And sound effects like crashing and banging, it can alarm the audience, but if it's used too much it can seem a bit cliche, so it'll make them feel really unsafe when they're watching the film if it's used the correct amount. Heartbeat sounds, they can be used to reinforce suspense, so it can gradually like increase as it goes along the film. So in Psycho, violins are used, but this is known as contrapuntal sound because the film is scary, so the scene will be dark and someone will be chasing somebody else, but then the violins will be really upbeat, so it'll make the scene seem really more sadistic because you've got this upbeat music with such a horrible situation going on. It just doesn't, it's so mismatched, it just doesn't quite fit, so viewers will just feel really like, ooh, they'll feel really uneased. So as I said before, different colours and tints within editing can create dark connotations. So colours like black and red, they'll signify danger, blood, death, and they'll make the viewer feel really, they'll be on the edge of their seat because they don't know what's going on, and because it seems so dark, they'll feel intimidated by the scene in front of them. And props such as chainsaws and guns are really common within this genre to create like a threat on the characters, and normally directors will make the characters seem really relatable and like really lovely people to create more empathy for them, so then when bad things do happen to them it seems a lot more tragic. But yeah, so that was the horror film genre. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.